This video is going to discuss the application problems that involve work, and that equation will be W equals R times T. W representing the job, and we're looking at one job in this example, and R representing the rate that it takes someone to finish the job, and T to equal the time it takes that person to finish the job. So if we take the work of one job equals, so 1 equals R times T, and if I want to figure out the rate, then I'm just going to divide by T. So what you have is 1 divided by T is the same as R. And this is what we're going to use on many of these problems that we're going to look at, because I'm going to give you the time it takes someone to finish the job, which is going to be the rate. And 1 will be part of our equation because we're looking at one job. So we've got Matt owning a landscaping business. Every Tuesday he serves small groups. It takes him 5 hours. So it takes Matt 5 hours to complete the service. So for this one job, Matt's rate is the one job divided by 5. And then you've got Cameron, who takes him 6 hours to finish the job. So his rate is 1 divided by 6. Now together would be 1 divided by T. That's what we're looking for. So what we'll do is we'll set up a rational equation. So Matt plus Cameron equals the total time together. Okay, so if Matt's rate is 1 divided by 5, Cameron's rate is 1 divided by 6, I'd like to know what the rate would be of them combining that. So again, we would like to look at the denominators and determine what our LCM would be. So LCM would be 30T, 5, 6, and T. So we'll say 30T, and we'll divide 30T by multiply 30T by every term. So I get 35th T plus 36th T is equal to 30T divided by T. So 35th T would be 6T, 36th T would be 5T, and the T's divide out here to leave you with 30. So you're left with 11T is equal to 30. And when you divide by 11, you get T to equal 2 7200 approximately. And so what I could do is take that 7200 and multiply it by 60, because there's 60 minutes in an hour, and that's going to give me approximately 43 minutes. So 2 hours and 43 minutes approximately for both Matt and Cameron to finish the job. Second job, you've got James and you've got John. So James has a time, so his rate would be 1 divided by 4. John's would be 1 divided by 6, and it says how long will it take working together, how long will it take? So we're looking at the 1 divided by T. So 4, 6, and T, the LCM would be 12T, and you're just going to multiply that by everything. So 1/4 times 12t would give us 12/4 t plus 12/6 t is equal to 12t divided by t. And that would give us 3t plus 2t is equal to 12. So 5t is equal to 12. So we can divide both sides. If we take 12 and divide it by 5, we get 2 4/10. So t is 2 4/10 hours. So kind of running out of room there, so let me come over here. So t would be 2 4/10 hours, and 4/10 times 60 would give us 24 minutes. So we would have 2 hours and 24 minutes for James and John to mow the lawn together. So working together, Charlotte and Madeline can prepare a meal in 2 hours. So now I'm just trying to figure out, well, what is Charlotte's rate? Because their total rate is 2 hours. So it takes Charlotte 5 hours. It's going to take Madeline some amount we just don't know. So we're going to solve for Madeline's time, which will give her a rate, and that LCM would be 10t. So we're just going to multiply 10t to every term. So that would give us 10 halves times t is equal to 10 fifths times t, and 10t divided by t. So the t's divide out here. This gives me 5t is equal to 2t plus 10. So I'm just going to subtract the 2t. And that's going to give me 3t is equal to 10. So t is equal to 10/3, or 3 1/3. And 1/3 of an hour is 20 minutes. So 3 hours and 20 minutes is what it would take Madeline. So if it takes Alice 90 minutes to put a daybed together, her rate is 1 divided by 90 minutes. Rachel would be 1 divided by 60 minutes. And if they work together, it would be 1 divided by t. So again, see a lot of patterns here in your work. You're looking for an LCM. And LCM would be 180 t. So we're going to multiply by 180 t to every term. So that's going to give me 2t. So that'll give me 2t plus 3t is equal to, the t's divide out, leave you with 180. And so this will be 5t is equal to 180. And t would equal 36 minutes. 36 minutes if they work together. Cold water, hot water. What happens when they're both working together? So with both the cold and hot water, it takes 9 minutes to fill up a tub. Cold water takes 15 minutes, and the hot, we don't know. So we've got two items working together, and I know the rates. Don't know the rate of the hot because that's what we're looking for. So I've got 15, 9, and T. So we would say 45 T. So again, just distributing like we normally do. So 15 will divide 45 T 3 T times. T will divide T 1 time times 45. And 9 will divide 45 5 T times. So I'm going to subtract 3T. And I get 45 is equal to 2T. So 45 is equal to 2T, so that's 22.5 is equal to T. So 22.5 minutes. So that was our original. It's 22.5 minutes if it was just the hot water. Number 6, we've got a printing press. So we've got one printing press that has a rate of 1 divided by 6, that one job divided by 6 minutes. And we also have a second printing press. Of course, I said the first one. So one printing press is in 6 hours. The second printing press produces it in 9 hours. And then we've got a third press that will have a rate of 1 to 12. So we're just trying to figure out, well, what would the rate be if all three of them would be working together? So we would say 36T would be the LCM, and it's just to multiply to everything. So 1/6 will divide 36T 6T times. 9 will divide 36 4T times. 12 will divide 36T 3T times, and T will divide 36T 36 times. So here I've got 13T is equal to 36. So T would equal, that should equal about almost 2 3/4 hours. And 3/4 of an hour would be 45 minutes. So we'll say about 2 hours and 45 minutes. To finish the press when all three are working. 7, we've got Edgar can blow the leaves off of a sidewalk, and his rate is 1 job divided by 2. Ellen can do the same job in 6 hours. So now we're looking for what happens when they're working together. So hers is 6 hours. So 1/2 plus 1/6 equals 1 divided by T. We would say 6T, and we would distribute, and we would get 3T plus T is equal to 6. So 4T is equal to 6. Divide by 4, we get T equals 3/2 or 1.5 hours if they both work together. Stanley can mow the lawn in 3 hours, so there's Stanley's rate. Javier, if Stanley and Javier work together, they can get it done in 2 hours, so there's their total together time. And what we don't know is Javier's time to mow the lawn. So we would use 6T as an LCM. So 2 divides 6T, 3T times. T divides T, 6T times 3 divides 6T, 2T times. So I'm going to subtract 2T, and I get 6 equal T. So what does that mean? That just means that Javier can finish in 6 hours to Mo. And that's for IPA. All right, two more. If with one small valve open, the liquid can be drained from a large mat in 4 hours. So that's with only one small valve, that rates 1 to 4. So with the large valve, then it's 1 to 2. And how long will it take if both valves were open? So again, as you see our patterns, we've got 2 or 3 items that are being added together with a fraction because we're looking at the work divided by time is equal to rate. And the work in this job is 1, and T is the time, and this fraction represents the rate. So LCM would be 4T. Distribute, you get 4. Distribute, you get 2T. And distribute, you get T. So this part here would be 4 divides 4 T times. So 2T plus T is 3T equals 4. So divide by 3, and T equals 4/3, or 1 1/3, or 1 hour, and 1/3 of an hour would be 20 minutes. Final work question is working together. Bill and Tom painted a fence in 8 hours last year. Last year, Tom painted the fence by himself. The year before, Bill painted it by himself, and it took Bill 12 hours. We're just trying to figure out how long it would take Tom if that's Bill and that's together. So 8 and 12 would be 24T. That would be your LCM. So 8 will divide 24T 3T times. 12 will divide 24T 2T times. 2 divides 24T 24 times. Subtract the 2T. And that's going to go to 0. This will go to T equals 24. So how long did it take Bill? How long did Bill and Tom take when we were painting alone? Well, Bill did 12 hours. So Tom was about 24 hours, or 2 days. And then you've got your check. That'll be at the end of the presentation.